Hello, and welcome to another episode of Adventures in AI from Rene the Curious. I'm curious about Claude Sonnet 4.5, which was released yesterday, and I dropped a link or a post on LinkedIn about its Swebench scores, which are, according to Anthropic, and it seems to be proven right, pretty amazing. Where are they? Yeah, here they are. So 77%, and more than that, actually. And there have been a bunch of videos that have looked at Sonnet 4.5. This was a good one, all about AI.
Up Claude Sonnet 4.5 and just
I said the same thing. I would just suggest, kind sir, your audio needs a little help, but otherwise, great video. And this gentleman,
king of AI coding
Cole Medin.
Anthropic just released Claude Sonnet 4.
And so what does this all mean? Well, things are getting better, and they're getting better in ways that are big and small or nuanced. And like many of you, I've been using the models agentically in VS Code, also in Claude Code, but more recently and more often warp.dev, which is amazing, and it's all amazing. But today I wanted to show you something that I keep going back to when I'm working on a project where the complexity becomes big enough such that the context provided by the repo itself seems to be too much for the model to understand, to grok. Not that grok, but like Robert A. Heinlein, grok, understand. And so what is the thing that we're going to do today? Well, let me show you. It's a little issue, not little, actually, kind of a hard problem, in a new project that I've been working on for the last couple of weeks called Canada Well Finder. And now you may know that I've been working on something more similar called Alberta Well Finder. But here I'm now working on creating one Well Finder website for the entire country, for all of the wells in all of the provinces in Canada. And that's just the beginning. But I'll come back to that later. What's one of the challenges when doing a project like this is that the well data, once you obtain it, is actually in quite different structures, data formats between the provinces, because each province, which has ownership over their energy, creates their own formats. And they all kind of distill down to shape files, CSV files, and other stuff, GIS-y things. But trying to corral all of that together is an interesting challenge. And, we can see what they look like in Saskatchewan, also Saskatchewan, Ontario, an oldie but a goodie. Lots of wells, but for the most part, they're all like gone. Manitoba, province of my birth. Go Jets. And yeah, Alberta's not here. Anyways, what are we going to do? I've been writing scripts with help, and these scripts will analyze shapefiles and other data from different, again, regulatory bodies from different provinces, try to normalize them, clean them up, and, if you have a property in two different files that's sort of similar, refers to the same kind of data, but the property name is different, we want to make them the same and then get that into the database in a way that makes it easy to query. Okay, so here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to show Sonnet 4.5, just these files. Why? Because like I said earlier, when we give these agentic models access to the entire repo, even if it's not that big, and this project is not yet big yet, it can get distracted by other things in the project. Files like shapefile schemas, it doesn't need to know this, or field definitions, doesn't need to know that. Not yet. I just want it to, kind of like with blinders on the horse, and we are racing towards the finish line, understand what is going on here, and then offer feedback. And so what we're going to do here is not write code. We're going to just simply show and tell. Show the AI, Sonnet 4.5, some code, and let it tell us what it thinks. Okay. And I love this. I keep going back to this, I think more and more, because it helps to keep the, what's the word? The focus on what I want, not what it wonders what I want. I don't know if that makes any sense. All right. So let's see, back to here. Okay. So back in the day, like yesterday or last week, prompt engineering was a very, and still is reasonably, a very big thing. But the next level is context engineering, which is where we give it enough code that it understands. But what I've come to also believe at times is that sometimes we can give it too much context and too much prompting. And so here's what we're going to do today is give it these 5 files, which are related. So we're importing 5. Oh, yeah. Okay. 5 provinces. So BC to Ontario, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba in the middle, and then the import script. And this prompt will not blow your mind. And that's kind of, we're not leading the witness. Really important. At times, we just want to know what it thinks without any editorializing or, because they still want to please us. They will, if we ask the question in a way, do you think these files are good? It will say, oh, you did a great job. Nice work on whatever. No. Don't placate me. Don't commend me. I just want to know what you think unbiased. So here we go. Let's see what it thinks. Your bash scripts are solid, but have architectural smell. Well, that's pretty honest. By the way, my system prompt encourages Claude, all of the Claudes, to be brutally honest and straightforward. So, it's doing what it told it to, or asked it to. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so I'm doing some things in the script, maybe better in Postgres. Yeah, potatoes. Yes. So we have 5 provinces, and there is a lot of duplication in schema knowledge. However, and actually I had done it earlier, and not that anybody cares, where I consolidated the data structures in a field mapping.json file. But Claude's younger brother, Sonnet 4, wasn't able to actually understand how that related. So it's not me, it's you. Yeah, so this is interesting. I won't read all of the source code. Yep. Okay. Generating primary keys in the database, one function to rule them all. I would agree. Okay, so here, this is my point. I want to learn, and it's teaching me something I didn't know before I started recording this video. I had encoded these. So primary keys in a database, if you know, there's a couple ways to do them. You can create an integer that auto increments upon each record insertion, and you can start the integer at something like big, and then it's like 1001, 1002, and that's fine. There are reasons why you might not want to do that. So UUIDs, which are pseudo random and fairly durable against collision in terms of like 2 UUIDs can't be created, at least not until the heat death of the universe happens. And yeah, so there's that. But then what happens is if you're building a web application, if you have a well site, like in this case, where the UWI or the well authority number in BC or the license number in Manitoba, they don't have UWIs yet. Or in Saskatchewan, they're ahead of the curve. They have Canadian well identifier. The government made this in the 60s, so we adopted. So we can create these primary keys that are more semantic to the actual well itself. And so when we create a web app with a URL that identifies that well. It's not some big long URL of gobbledygook, but it's actually, well, it's the license number or the, yeah, whatever. So this is a good idea. So I've just learned something. Um, blah, blah, blah. Okay, do it in single pass. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's being a little picky, but it's right. Sonnet 4.5 is right. Um, Actually, in here, I'm going to take my own advice. Type less, speak more. I've been working on this for a few days and find that I struggle with the process of processing data from shape files from different regulatory bodies, different provinces, and getting them into a format that is predictable and that can, when the provinces release updates to these well shape files, can easily go into the database, period. Um, do you have any general thoughts on how I should rethink or not rethink how I'm approaching this, period? I like some of your suggestions. I don't think they're all necessary. But if you have, like, let's say top 5 suggestions with approaching the development on this project in the future, I would like to hear them, period. Please keep your suggestions brief, simple, and friendly, not rude. Okay. Well, I actually did this also already, but I agree. This is the goal. This is the dream. Single source of truth. Canon. Okay. This is what a product manager would say. Not wrong. Kind of boring work, but that's why we have AI now. Don't agree. I'm in development, but this is why it's fine. They can have opinions. You can have opinions. I have opinions. We can all be right. We can all be wrong. Well, maybe not at the same time, but maybe. Okay, don't agree with this. The whole point of simplifying is to make these functions actually flexible and, oh, I'm sorry. Actually, yes, that is what it's saying. Okay. All right. Well, this is this is I don't know if it's interesting, but it's something that I was working on today for most of the morning and the afternoon, and I threw it into Sonnet 4.5, and yeah, it's good, and it's not perfect. Nothing is. Neither am I. But the idea being, if we can simplify how we get the data into our application in a way that makes it repeatable and reliable and saves time in the future, then I'm all for that. Are you? Thank you for your time. Have a great day.